what's up everybody? GameDad here, and we are moving right along with this new collection series showcasing everything in my current PS2 collection. So we are on now part 3 of those collection videos. So let's dive in and check out what we got. Fire Pro Wrestling Returns was released by AgeTech Incorporated in 2007, and it takes that classic Fire Pro Wrestling formula and just brings it to PS2. I mean, it's got those like 3D style looking 2D sprites. You get all of your different classic wrestling moves. You get tons of different fighters and a crazy amount of customization that you can do in this game. It's ridiculous what you can do with your characters and the overall matches themselves. Super fun game to play. Grand Theft Auto 3 was released by Rockstar Games in 2001, and in my opinion, this was like the first real Grand Theft Auto game that is like how they are today. I mean, the 3D graphics were excellent for the time, and they hold up pretty well today. They're not as good as, Grand Theft Auto 5 or anything like that, but the graphics are still really good. You got your car chases, you got all the different weaponry, you have your different missions going on, and I mean, it's a really fun game as well. Grand Theft Auto Vice City was released by Rockstar Games in 2002, and this one took a lot of what worked about Grand Theft Auto 3 and just made it so much better. I mean, the radio is great in the car, the gameplay is great, the story is awesome, and you just really get to explore the game in a much more open kind of way. I mean, I really enjoy playing Vice City. This is probably one of my favorite Grand Theft Auto games. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was released by Rockstar Games in 2004, and of the original kind of Grand Theft Auto games, this one is probably my favorite. I mean, the gameplay is super smooth, and the story was great. It was awesome to just roam around the city. I mean, as you can see, I'm just riding around on the bike right here, and it was just a fun new concept that they added to the game. And overall, I mean, everything just plays so well in this game. It was so well thought out, and it doesn't get glitchy or anything like that like some of the other games can do at times, and it's just super fun to play. Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec was released by Sony in 2001, and this one takes a lot of the same Gran Turismo aspects that you had before. You get the nice cars, the nice graphics, things like that, and you just have a nice, fun car racing game. I mean, there isn't really anything crazy innovative about it, but I will say, as far as racing games go, the Gran Turismo games always did have very excellent graphics. I mean, by today's standards of car games, like Forza, they don't really hold up, but these were the epitome of excellent racing games back in the day. The HD Loader was released by HD Loader in the early 2000s. I couldn't find a lot of original info about this, but what this actually did was allowed you to basically rip your PS2 games onto the hard drive, or like the hard drive upgrade that you could get for the PS2, and it would allow you to bypass copyright protection and actually play games without a disc. So Sony very quickly tried to shut them down, and they ended up coming out with something, I think it's called the HD Advance, and that allowed you to do the same kind of thing. But yeah, this was a way to kind of pirate games. Hitman 2 Silent Assassin was released by Eidos Interactive in 2002, and with this game, it felt like they fixed a lot of like the graphical issues where everything looked really polygonal. They really smoothed everything out a lot in this one, and it just feels like the gameplay itself is just better. I mean, it flows a lot nicer. It still has that stealthy aspect to it, but it doesn't feel, clunky or like unfair AI kind of stuff like I felt with the original Hitman game. Hitman Contracts was released by Eidos Interactive in 2004, and with this one, it feels like they didn't go as smooth with the graphics, but it feels like they increased the pace of the overall gameplay, which I think is a really good trade-off. I mean, the graphics are not terrible by any means compared to the other Hitman games, but it felt like you didn't have to move around so slow in this game anymore. You could actually get where you needed to go and just get it done, and I really appreciated that about this game. It made the game much more enjoyable for me. Hot Shots Golf 3 was released by SCEI in 2002, and to me, this one takes a more like comical approach to a golf game. I mean, unless you are really, really into golf, then golf games probably aren't the most fun thing on the planet for you to play. But this one, it's nice because it gives you, a more cheerful kind of interface. It tries to make it more fun and gives you, I guess I could say, more of like a mini golf feel to a regular golf game, which makes it, like I said, more enjoyable. And Television Lives was released by Crave Entertainment in 2003. And what's cool about this compilation compared to other compilation kind of games is the menu structure that they give you. Instead of just, a menu showing off some games, you're actually navigating through like not necessarily an old diner, but like an old pizzeria kind of thing. And they have arcade machines, whether they're freestanding or, like bar top, tabletop kind of things. You just get to go around and look at a bunch of different games that are in all of these machines and then actually play them. So it's a pretty cool concept the way they put this together. Jack 2 was released by SCEI in 2003, and this one takes everything that was awesome about Jak and Daxter and just takes it to the next level. I mean, the gameplay is super smooth, the graphics are excellent. I mean, as you can see in this gameplay footage, this particular area of the game is a little dark for my taste. I like games to be a lot brighter so I can actually see everything, but overall, this is just another fun game in the Jak and Daxter series. I mean, there's a reason why these games are so popular. Jeopardy, released by Atari in 2003. Now, the PlayStation 1 version of this was just absolute complete crap. I mean, the graphics were awful, and the gameplay was awful. It just was not good. And the graphics, oh god, they were so bad and just so grainy. But in this one, this version on the PS2, as you can see, everything is much more clear. You can actually read things, and it was much easier to navigate around. And then they actually used like FMV of Alex Trebek. So I thought that was pretty cool. Give it a little more realism. Juiced 2 was released by THQ in 2007, and this reminds me kind of like a Midnight Club style game where, you're out, you're racing, you're betting, whether it's money or pink slips, and then you get vehicle upgrades, but it definitely had that Midnight Club feel, as you can see, just with the overall graphic scheme and everything like that. Now, the controls in this weren't that great, as you can see, kind of like swerving, and they were very sensitive. I didn't dive too far into the options to see if there's a way to adjust the sensitivity on it, but I mean, overall, it was pretty fun playing this game. Kengo, Master of Bushido, was released by Ubisoft in 2001, and I gotta say, with this game, it feels like they went for ultra realism for Bushido. I mean, it's ancient art of sword fighting, and man, this first match that they throw you into, if you don't know what you're doing, you just get your rear handed to you. I mean, as you can see, this guy is just wailing on me. I couldn't even do any of the commands that it was telling me. It was saying, try a different action, either strike, defense, parry, anything like that. I could not get a single thing to work in this game. I mean, it looks nice though, I guess. And here we have Kingdom Hearts, released by Square in 2002. And as many people know, this was the first like JRPG to actually mix with Disney characters. And a lot of people thought that this was a really stupid concept and there was no way that this would ever work. But obviously after, what seems like 100 games that are all Kingdom Hearts related, they've proven this actually works. It's cool. You get to go around different worlds playing as or playing with different Disney characters and just rocking out classic JRPG. And here's Kingdom Hearts 2, released by Square Enix in 2006. And with this one, they kind of start you off in a different way. Instead of being what felt like, an immediate direct sequel, right, taking off where the first one left off, they actually start you off with a different character. So you end up going back to the original characters later on in the game, but when it started off, it threw a lot of people off and nobody understood really what was going on. And that was because they had released some games in between this one and number one that actually told more of the story and why you start this game this way. Now, here we have Lara Croft Tomb Raider Legend, released by Eidos Interactive in 2006. And this one, it has the same kind of gameplay feel as the original trilogy did, but with an obvious graphics update. I mean, the character models look much more realistic. There's nothing really like jagged or anything like that going on. And the controls are actually really smooth in this game. You don't have a lot of the collision control problems that the original games did, and you just actually get to enjoy playing the game instead of fighting with every wall that gets in your path. Here is Lego Star Wars the video game, released by Eidos Interactive in 2005, and this was really kind of where these Lego games really started to take off. I mean, there was a couple of Lego games on the PS1, and in my opinion, those just were not very good. I mean, they were okay, but this is where they really like found their winning formula and how all the other Lego games are really based nowadays. I mean, you go through, you have kind of your hub world, you go through all your different episodes and stuff, you collect studs, you unlock characters, and you just have an awesome time. Now, the last one for this video is Linux, released by Sony in 2002. And I don't have any game cap for this because I didn't want to actually install it onto the hard drive for my PS2. But this is actually the original version of Linux that you could install, and you could run the operating system off of the hard drive on your PS2. Now, this was useful for anyone that wanted more of an open source operating system outside of, you know, where like Windows and Mac OS and stuff are really locked down. This allowed people to really get down into the nuts and bolts of using their PS2. So that is another stack of games in my current PS2 collection. We got a few more parts to this series to showcase the rest of the collection, but let me know down in the comments below. Have you seen any games that you enjoyed playing as a kid, or maybe even as a teenager or an adult? Is there anything in there that brought back any kind of fun nostalgic memories? And also, while you're there, please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that notification bell so you get an alert every time I got a new video coming out. Now, as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.